When Sophia Martinez woke up at 2 a.m. to a red glowing sphere, her husband and dog showed no reaction. 2 hours later, aliens would tell her truths about Earth. Welcome to Shelley's Mysterious Files. Today's story is about a bedroom encounter that took place in Texas in 2003 and still remains unexplained. Our witness, who decided to speak 22 years later, is telling that night in detail for the first time. Let's begin. Sophia, first of all, thank you for sharing this personal experience with us. Could you introduce yourself and tell us where you were that night?
Of course, Shelley. I'm Sophia Martinez. I'm 65 years old now. At that time, I was 43 years old, and we lived in a small town in Texas. I'm married to my husband, Miguel. We had 2 children at that time, but they were in college. I'm a retired elementary school teacher.
Before you tell us about the experience you had that night, have you ever encountered paranormal events before? Did you believe in such things?
No, Shelley, I had never experienced anything before. In fact, when I watched UFO stories on television, I would say, how do these people make up such things? I was a very practical person. I only believed what I saw with my eyes. Until that night.
When you woke up at 2 o'clock that night, what did you see first? What did that red sphere in your room look like, and what was your first reaction?
I suddenly woke up, as if someone had called me. In the middle of the room, at the foot of my bed, there was a bright red sphere. It was about the size of a basketball, and light was coming from inside it. My first thought was, ball lightning. But how could there be ball lightning inside the room?
When you saw that red sphere, did you try to wake your husband? What was his reaction, and how did the other residents of the house react to this situation?
I shook Miguel by the shoulder. Miguel, wake up. Look at this, I said. But he didn't move at all. Under normal circumstances, he was someone who slept very lightly, but he was sleeping as if he was in a coma. Our dog Max was the same way. Normally he barks at the slightest sound, but that night it was as if he couldn't hear anything.
How did you feel when you saw that you couldn't get any reaction from your husband and dog? How did the unusualness of this situation affect you?
It was a very frightening feeling, Shelley. It was as if the world had stopped everyone except me. I could hear my own voice, but they were unresponsive, as if they were in another dimension. At that moment, I realized this wasn't normal. My heartbeat quickened.
Can you describe what happened to the red sphere later?
The sphere suddenly went out, as if someone had pressed a button. Then shadows started moving in the corners of the room. 4 tall figures gradually became visible. It was as if they were emerging from mist. They moved very quietly. I couldn't even hear footsteps.
Can you describe the physical appearance of these beings in more detail? How were they dressed, and what were their facial features like?
They were about 1.8 meters tall. They had very athletic body structures. Their skin color was very pale, almost whitish. Their eyes were very large and elongated, but not frightening. They had more of a curious expression. They had something like diving helmets on their heads, but the material was an unknown substance.
How did you establish your first communication with these beings? Could you speak, and how did they respond to you?
Who are you? What do you want? I said. My voice was trembling. One of them, as if smiling, said, Don't be afraid, Sophia. We won't harm you. He spoke perfect Spanish. We come from outside Earth and we know all languages, he said. His voice was very soft and calming.
Were you surprised that they said they knew all languages? Did you try to test this claim?
Of course I was surprised. Do you really know all languages? I asked. I spoke some English, and he answered in perfect English. Then I said a few words that came to mind in Italian, because I had learned Italian in high school. He answered correctly too. It was incredible.
Did you feel fear while talking to them? Why were you able to behave so calmly?
This is very strange, Shelley. I should have been scared, but I wasn't scared at all. It was as if a calming energy was coming from them. In fact, I was so relaxed that I offered, Would you like some tea? Some food? They politely said, Thank you, but our way of nutrition is different.
How did it happen when they decided to take you outside? How did this process take place?
One of them said, Sophia, we want to show you something. Would you like to come outside? He asked. He had asked very kindly. I said sure. As I walked toward the door, I looked back. Miguel was still sleeping, as if he was under a spell.
When you went outside, what did you see in your yard? Were there other beings too?
There were 6 to 7 more beings in my yard. They all looked the same, but were a bit shorter. They had black sphere-shaped devices in their hands. Light was coming out of these spheres toward the sky and creating a kind of projection in the air. It was like a giant movie screen.
What did you see in this sky projection? What kind of images did they show you?
They were the most surprising things, Shelley. They were showing the history of the world, but only wars and destruction. Atomic bombs, cutting of forests, pollution of oceans. Each image was very clear and vivid, as if it was happening at that moment. It was very sad.
Did they give you any explanation while showing these images? Did they tell you why they made you watch these scenes?
These are what your species has done, they said. We have been watching for a long time. We are very worried. Then they turned to me. But you are different, Sophia. You can understand. That's why we chose you. What did this mean? I still don't know.
How did it make you feel when they said, you are different? Did you try to understand why they chose you?
I felt both proud and scared. Why me? What's special about me? I asked them. You are a teacher. You teach people the truth. Your heart is clean, they said. But it still seemed very mysterious, as if I was part of a bigger plan.
What else did they tell you that night? What were their thoughts about humanity?
Humans are going on a dangerous path, they said, but not all are bad. There are people like you. They are hope. Then they said something strange. Big changes will happen soon. You must be ready. I didn't dare ask what kind of changes.
How did the messages, big changes and you must be ready, affect you? Did you try to get more details about this?
I was very curious, of course. What kind of changes? I asked. But they didn't give a clear answer. You will understand when the time comes, Sophia. Now just wait and observe, they said. This uncertainty bothered me a lot, but I didn't insist.
How many hours were you together with them that night? What else did you talk about during this time?
We were together for about 2 hours. They told me how the universe works, about other planets. You are not alone, they said. There are many life forms, but most don't harm each other. Only your species. They left the sentence unfinished.
Did you ask them to complete the sentence they left as only your species? How did this unfinished word affect you?
Yes, I asked. Only our species what? With a sad expression, they said, you are the only species that destroys its own home. This had hit hard. I felt as if we were guilty. But they said, you are not guilty, Sophia. You are part of the solution.
When they said, you are part of the solution, did they explain what they expected from you? Did they give you a special mission?
They didn't say it very clearly, but they said, you will tell people one day. But it's not time yet. You will understand when you're ready. Then they said something strange. We will come again, Sophia. We will prepare you. But they never came again.
Why didn't you meet again, even though they said they would come again? What do you think about this?
I've been waiting for 22 years, Shelley. Maybe I'm not ready yet. Maybe the world isn't ready yet. Or maybe they were waiting for me to start talking about that night. Who knows? Maybe they're watching right now. Maybe they'll come again after this interview.
What kind of scene took place when they left that night? Did you see their ship?
When it was close to 4 o'clock, they said, we must go now. Behind my yard, a very large oval ship appeared. It was about 15 meters long. Soft blue light was seeping from inside. A ramp came down. They walked inside. The ship was surrounded by a mist cloud and rose silently.
Can you describe the more detailed appearance of this ship? What technological features caught your attention?
It had a very smooth surface. I couldn't see any seams, screws, or connections. It was as if it was made from a single piece of material. There was no engine sound, no propeller noise, nothing. The most impressive part was that it didn't create any wind when taking off. It didn't even rustle the grass.
Did you tell your husband about this experience? How was his behavior that morning?
Miguel didn't remember anything in the morning. I slept very deeply tonight, he said. When I told him what I experienced, he was worried at first. Maybe you had a bad dream, he said. But over time, he believed me, because I could tell it in great detail, and I'm someone who never lies.
When did you decide to tell people around you about this experience? Why did you wait 22 years?
I was very scared in the first years. I thought people would think I was crazy. I had only told my closest friend, Rosa. She had also said, don't tell anyone. But in recent years, many things have changed in the world. People are now more open-minded. I feel that the time has come to speak now.
How was Rosa's reaction? Did she believe you?
Rosa was very surprised. But believe me, because she knows me very well. Sophia, you're not someone who would make up such things, she had said. In fact, she said she might have had a similar experience, but didn't give details. I guess everyone has hidden stories.
Were the world images that those beings showed you real, or were they some kind of simulation? What do you think about this?
It looked very real. I could see every detail, people's faces, buildings, nature, but maybe it was advanced technology. They had said, these are things that happened and will happen. Were they showing the past or the future? I'm still not sure.
The phrase, things that happened and will happen, is very mysterious. How did you interpret this?
I think they perceive time differently than us. Maybe for them, past, present, and future exist simultaneously. Or maybe they were giving us a warning, meaning this will happen if you continue on this path. I wish they had spoken more clearly.
Have you received any signs from them after that night? Has there been any communication?
There was no direct communication, but I experienced strange things. Sometimes I see them in my dreams. UFO news on television affects me a lot. Also, my intuitive abilities have increased in recent years. I can sense things that will happen beforehand.
Can you give examples about the increase of these intuitive abilities? How do you explain this situation?
For example, I can sense when my friends will get sick, or I can prevent dangerous situations by sensing them beforehand. Last year, I told my granddaughter Emily while she was playing in the park, "Let's get away from here." 5 minutes later, a big branch fell right where she was playing.
Do you think these abilities are connected to your experience that night? Did they do something to you?
I'm sure it's connected, Shelley. That night, they didn't just examine me. They did things too. Maybe they added something to my mind. Maybe they activated it. They had said, "We will prepare you." Well, this could be it. Maybe for my future mission.
What do you think your future mission might be, based on the message given to you that night?
I think warning people, preparing them. They had said big changes. Maybe climate crisis, maybe technological singularity, maybe them coming into more open communication. My mission might be to tell people, don't be afraid, be ready.
Have you consulted experts to research this topic? Have you had scientific examinations done?
Last year I met with Dr. James Morrison at the University of Texas in Austin. He is a ufologist and psychologist. He tested me, did hypnosis. "You have had a real experience," he said. But he couldn't explain exactly what it was.
What did you learn from Dr. Morrison's tests? Did he find anything unusual in you?
He found abnormal activity in my brain scans, especially in areas that control intuitive perception. This cannot be explained by normal aging process, he had said. Also during hypnosis, I remembered much more detailed things about that night.
Can you share the additional details you remembered during hypnosis? What kind of new information emerged?
During hypnosis, I remembered that they had given me a crystal, very small, a crystal that could stand on a fingertip. "Keep this. You will understand when the time comes," they had said. When I woke up in the morning, that crystal was in my nightstand drawer. It's still there.
Do you still have that crystal? Does it have any properties?
Yes, it's still in my drawer. It's very light, but sometimes it gets warm. Especially at night, it glows faintly. Dr. Morrison wanted to examine it, but I didn't give it to him. It feels like something entrusted to me, something that shouldn't be touched.
In what situations does the crystal's warming and glowing occur? Is there a specific pattern?
It mostly gets warm when I watch UFO news, or when I see strange lights in the sky at night. It's like a device connected to them. Maybe they're tracking me through this.
Did you tell your family about this crystal? What do they think?
Miguel was skeptical at first, but when he saw the crystal, he fell silent. "This is not a normal crystal," he said. My children saw it too. They are more open-minded. My daughter said, "Mom, maybe you really are chosen." This both scares and makes me proud.
As you got older, did the meaning of this experience change for you? Is there a difference between experiencing it at 43 and remembering it at 65?
Of course it changed. At that time I was more scared, trying to understand. Now I approach it more calmly. With the wisdom that age gives, I understand that this is part of something very big. Maybe they had been preparing me since that night.
What do you mean when you say they had been preparing me since that night? What kind of preparation process do you think you experienced?
Everything that happened in my life seemed to prepare me for this conversation. My teaching profession, the increase in my intuitive abilities, my ability to communicate with people. Maybe this was the reason I came here now, to spread their message.
Do you hope to meet with them again in the future? Do you have any expectation about this?
I both hope and fear. I'm old now. Maybe I'm ready to receive their real message. But on the other hand, I think, what if it's different this time? The first meeting was very kind. I don't know how the second one would be.
Finally, what advice would you give to people who experience similar encounters? What kind of approach should they take on this matter?
Don't be afraid. You are not alone. Record what you experienced. Tell people you trust. I regret staying silent for 22 years. Maybe if I had spoken earlier, more people could have been prepared. Most importantly, see these experiences as a gift, not a curse.
Sophia, thank you very much for sharing this deep and personal experience with us. Your decision to speak after 22 years is very brave.
Thank you, Shelley. Maybe the time had come. That crystal has been glowing much more frequently lately. Maybe they're saying, tell now. People must be ready. Big changes are approaching.
What do you think about this experience that Sophia kept secret for 22 years? Could she really have been chosen by aliens? That crystal is still with her and still glowing. Share your thoughts in your comments. See you in the next video.